Hi, today we're welcoming back Justin Ruaysamran, and he and I are going to make kimchi. We've done a bit of prep. Do you want to talk about it, Justin?
Yeah. So I think we're going to make a traditional Napa cabbage kimchi. I think you salted the cabbage ahead of time, right, Rick?
2 hours before now. Yes.
Okay. So the reason why you salted it was you're trying to draw out the water here to wilt the cabbage a little bit and prepare it so that it is able to be encased in this salt pepper paste.
Yes, I cut it. I cut the heads of the cabbage into quarters, keeping the core down at the bottom, and then sprinkled, for 6 pounds of cabbage, a half cup of salt in between each leaf, and paid a special attention down at the bottom where the leaves are thicker, and turned all those chunks of cabbage every half hour, and then rinsed it and drained it, and now I'm chopping it up into smaller pieces to fit into the jar better.
Maybe we should talk a little bit about what is kimchi. If people are not familiar, kimchi is a fermented vegetable. A lot of times people think of kimchi as made with cabbage, but it could be made with any type of vegetable. Kimchi comes to us from Korea, and there are actually hundreds of types of kimchi depending on the vegetables, the types of ingredients. We think of kimchi as well as being a spicy ferment and a very pungent in terms of its flavor profile and its scent. So after we chop up the vegetables, we're going to make the paste. So in contrast to what we did with the sauerkraut, where we submerged the vegetables in brine, what we're going to do here is we're going to coat the vegetables in this salted, spicy paste, and that actually acts as the home for the lactobacillic acid to permeate and to help with the fermentation process.
So we have our Chinese cabbage salted and chopped up and in a bowl here, and now I'm going to make the paste that will be adding to that, right, Justin?
Yeah.
Okay. So here we have Justin earlier made up some rice flour and water, boiled it, and made into a little paste right here.
I also add some sugar into it, so again, to help feed the bacteria. They love sugar.
Okay. And you can use any kind of sugar, right?
Yeah, any type of sweetener.
Now here, I just poured that into a bowl of red pepper powder, and this is a bag of red pepper powder that you can buy. And so this is a very spicy dish, I imagine. Do you know what kind of pepper that is?
This is what people refer to as a Korean pepper. Gochu is, I think, the name of the pepper, at least in Korean. I don't know of people growing the pepper. I've heard that it's not really widely grown here in the States. Usually when you buy the pepper, it is from Korea. Its flavor profile is different from other types of peppers, but you don't have to limit yourself to Korean pepper. I made kimchi with other types of pepper, and we're going to talk about that a little later on in the program.
Is it similar to cayenne, or?
I don't know. Maybe you should taste it, Rick, and let me know. I know you are a very big connoisseur of peppers, and you grow a lot of them in the Bridgehampton Gardens.
Oh, definitely hot. It's has a bit more of a fruitiness and sourness, I would say, than any other pepper I know.
Interesting. And you'll add some fish sauce as well?
Oh yeah. Half cup, right?
Around half a cup, yeah.
Well, eyeball a half cup.
Yeah, the fish sauce will add the saltiness and some more umami. You don't have to add fish sauce if you want to make this vegan kimchi. You could just use salt. But again, like we did with the sauerkraut, the salt helps with enabling the lactobacillic acid to grow while keeping out unwanted bacteria and mold.
So is this the traditional time of year to make
it? Is. Well, we're harvesting. It's autumn. These cabbages are one of the last things that gardeners are growing, and so it is the traditional time of year to do this.
Wow.
like I said, you can make kimchi with cabbage, but you can also make it with root vegetables, hearty vegetables. Maybe while you're finishing up the paste, I could, show everyone the types of kimchi that I have, at least right now in my larder. So here, what we have is kimchi that's actually 2 years old. I've kept it in my root cellar for about 2 years. And this one I made with cayenne pepper. It's not made with the Korean pepper. You can see how the fermentation process has really wilted the cabbage, and it's almost translucent here. And of course, as you can imagine, it's very pungent and sour. I've also made kimchi using broccoli rabe. This is actually one of my favorite kimchis because I love the bitterness of the broccoli rabe against the sourness of the kimchi profile. I also added some root vegetables as well. And this is my favorite right now. It's a kimchi that I made using Napa cabbage and carrots that I grew here in Bridgehampton Gardens. So the vegetables are from Bridgehampton. Obviously the garlic and the ginger and the fish sauce are not, but this is the Bridgehampton Gardens kimchi.
Very nice. So I've got the paste done.
Yes.
And
so now you're going to mix everything together. So what vegetables do we have here, Rick?
Let's see. I chopped up some carrots into matchsticks and also some red radishes. And so we have those. Just mix it all together like this. Yeah. And let's see, there's also some green onions or scallions. And we also have a lot of garlic, 24 cloves of garlic.
Oh, wow. It's going to be very garlicky. It's going to be fabulous.
That's what the recipe said. So
Rick's recipe.
That's it. And then about 2-3 teaspoons of ginger.
Yeah. But, I don't think people should
grated fresh ginger.
Yes. And you left the skin on, or you...
I did.
Okay.
I don't bother peeling ginger. I know a lot of people do, and there are many ways of doing it. And it's not that hard, but I don't know. I don't really know if it's necessary, especially if you're grating it that way.
Yeah. And you're going to rely on the fermentation process to break it down as well.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
So you're getting your hands dirty here. You're going to get them even more dirty by incorporating the paste into the vegetables.
Now I put the paste in here too?
Yep, and just make sure that all of the vegetables are covered in the paste.
Okay, here goes.
And you're being very brave there, Rick, without using gloves too. Is it burning your hands?
No, I didn't think it was that hot.
Well, I know you grow ghost peppers, and peppers even spicier than this one. Yeah.
So this is going to take some doing.
It will.
Okay, we have our kimchi all thoroughly mixed, the spice mix coating all the vegetables, and now we're going to pack it into jars. And you can use any kind of jar. I think you need a fairly big jar, and also ideally something with a wide mouth, just something you can get your hands into, or even that you can use a tamper with to really pack this in. This jar works, but something like this would work too. Could you use a crock or?
Yeah, you can use a crock. I think traditionally in Korea they use ceramic crocks, and they actually bury these crocks in the ground to prevent it from getting frozen in the winter and to keep it cool in the summer. But with modern day technology and heating, we could just leave it outside or in the fridge.
Well, okay. I'm going to start packing this in here then.
Yeah. So you don't need to pound it like we did the sauerkraut. You just need to pack it so that you remove a lot of the air bubbles.
Okay, so just
you can use your hands, or you can use a tamper. I think you just cleaned your hands, Rick, and now you're getting dirty again.
That's okay.
No, it looks really good. I actually like using glass jars so that you can see the kimchi. I think it's beautiful. Kimchi tends to produce a lot of gas, so I've opened up jars of kimchi that I've made that are about a week old, and it's bubbling. It looks like as if it's on the stove. That's normal. You just need to just press the kimchi back down. It's going to produce a lot of its own brine. Right now it looks kind of dry, but wait a couple of days, and a lot of the water that's still left in the cabbage is going to excrete out.
So, and where do I keep this after I get this packed?
We're gonna leave it outside for a couple of days and test it to see if you like the flavor. Once you like the flavor, like with any ferment, put it in the fridge to slow down the fermentation process.
Okay. And probably not in the sun, right?
Yes, no, definitely not in the sun. The sun creates is an environment for mold.
Make it too hot. Yes.
Yeah.
And then so it'll be ready within a couple days.
Well, you could actually eat kimchi right now. Some people like fresh kimchi that's not fermented, that it has that spice profile. But try it after a couple of days, after 3 to 5 days, and see if you like it then. Or leave it out for years, like I have with some of my
right.
kimchi.
You have some that's 2 years old there.
Yeah, the Bridgehampton kimchi I made earlier this month, so that's a couple of weeks old now.
That's good. I'm glad you used the cabbage from the garden. How do people eat kimchi, and when do they eat it, and is it a main course? What is it?
Well, it's because of its pungency. I think it's traditionally eaten as a condiment. It's also used as an ingredient. There's kimchi stews, kimchi pancakes. You could use it however way you want to, similar to a pickle or any other fermented product.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've
So
seen
you
it.
want to,
I've seen it as that maybe is enough, right?
Yeah, well, I think you want to try to remove some of the air pockets. What's nice about having a glass jar is that you can see some of the pockets here. So maybe tamper it down, or you can use your hands, or you could use a tamper.
Okay.
Yeah, you can even hear now the
That
air,
works.
right?
Yeah, that works really well.
Yeah, you don't have to use a tamper, but I think it's just
it's a
easier.
good tool. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Hear the crunchiness of the cabbage.
Yeah,
though.
I can hear it crunching.
And I think it's just my love of fermentation, but I just think that it looks so beautiful.
Well, it is really attractive. I can even fit a little bit more in there now.
Exactly. So you want to leave some headspace, because like I said, kimchi is very infamous for boiling over, and I've had kimchi just explode out of the jar actually. Yes. And you don't want to get it.
Well,
on the
then I
ground.
won't add any more to
Exactly.
that. And
Exactly.
this little extra, should I use a jar like
Sure.
that, or even though it won't fill it up?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
In terms of storing it, I would recommend covering it up, not with cloth, but with the actual lid of the jar, just to prevent dust and mold from growing. I find that that's easiest.
I just tried some of Justin's Bridge Gardens kimchi, and it is delicious. Really, really good job, Justin. And thank you for this program and for all the programs that you did for us this season, which you can check out online at the Peconic Land Trust website. You can see all the fermented food programs we did, as well as all the video workshops and programs we did. Thank you.